Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. When you hear Dreamworks animation, usually what comes to mind is Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon, Baby's First Oh My God Shut Up meme, and surprisingly, more often than not, Megamind. Don't take this the wrong way, but why? Make no mistake, I thought the film was alright. I thought it was pretty clever and had a funny idea, but people really seem to connect with this flick. And even more attention was brought to it though when, apparently the Batman and Robin of Dreamworks sequels was released this year. This got a lot of people looking back to re-examine why the original worked so well, and yeah, I guess I wanted to revisit it for similar reasons too. As someone who saw this film as totally fine, but not a game changer in any way, I've been interested in why so many people adore it as much as they do. I guess since it came out in 2010, you could argue many people have grown up with it, so it is nostalgia. But I don't think it's just that. I knew a lot of fully grown adults who felt like this movie was really speaking to them, and I found that kind of fascinating. So, seeing how I literally haven't seen it since it came out, I want to give this film another go and see why so many people swear by it and examine whether or not I'm missing something. So let's go back in time to when Twilight and Jersey Shore were all the rage. Okay, I'm already seeing why people valued this. Let's take a look at Megamind. The film opens with a monologue from our hero/villain named Megamind, played by Will Ferrell, who seems to be falling to his doom.
Here's my day so far. I'm falling to my death. How did it all come to this, you ask?
How did it come to? I bet you're wondering how it got here intro. Alright, to be fair, this is over a decade old and a family film, so I think you can give that trope a little leeway.
I had a fairly standard childhood. I was 8 days old and still living with my parents.
A flashback shows his world literally crumbling, as even when he's the only survivor of an alien race, he's still less important than someone else. Another far better looking alien race sends their last surviving child too, and he takes what would have been his life of luxury as Megamind literally lands in jail. This obvious loose reality says sure, why not, and allows the prisoners to raise Megamind in the ways of evil.
A knack for building objects of mayhem.
He sadly has no powers apart from extreme intellect, and when he goes to school, he sees his rival as all sorts of bells and whistles. Most of them very showy in 3D. Yes, this film tries hard to remind us that this was in fact made for 3D.
Good receives all the praise. Evil is sent to quiet time in the corner.
After spending years as an outcast and jokes that probably wouldn't play too well today, but I still think are kind of funny, Megamind decides to embrace his villainhood. They grow up years later still fighting, as his nemesis becomes a superhero adopting the name Metro Man, voiced by Brad Pitt. So you may notice this is in the days when Dreamworks Animation was still trying to figure out their style. The funny thing is, they were pretty good at making unappealing characters look appealing, like Megamind or his monster sidekick played by David Cross simply named Minion. Yes, there was another anime movie sidekick that year named Minion, and sadly that's not the one objectifying merchandise. But whenever they need to make characters look cute or attractive, that's bizarrely when they start to look ugly. Like local damsel in distress reporter Roxanne Ritchie, played by Tina Fey.
Is there some kind of nerdy supervillain website where you get Tesla coils and blinky dials?
She's supposed to be a knockout, but she just looks like the boss baby with hair. I think it's the creepy huge eyes, and flushed cheeks, and weird small lips. They all look like Margaret Keane mannequins. I don't like looking at them. I guess Metro Man looks okay, even though he's eerily close to looking like the president from Monsters vs. Aliens. God, why do some of these early Dreamworks characters gross me out? He looks like a California raisin.
Roxanne. Don't panic, Roxy. I'm on my way.
I'm not panicking.
Megamind lures Metro Man to a false location, planning to zap him with a death ray. They trade supposedly good quips back and forth.
I think your warranty is about to expire.
Maybe I got an extended warranty.
Warranties are invalid.
Girls, you're both pretty. Can I go home now?
I think I'm gonna say that whenever an internet battle over anything happens. But to Megamind's surprise, Metro Man admits his secret weakness is copper, so he's unable to escape and he's blown up with a death ray. I hate how every bit of advertising gave away he's not really dead. Even the IMDb shows he's fine, because otherwise this would be one of my favorite dark fake-outs.
I want you to carry on with the dreary, normal things. Let's just have fun with this, come on.
With no one to stop him, Megamind takes over the city, doing pretty much whatever he wants, but almost instantly feels empty.
We have it all. Then why do I feel so melancholy?
Well, admit, for a Dreamworks animated superhero movie, this is kind of a different angle. I love The Incredibles, and I think it's a better film, but it does go more the traditional route. This is definitely a different take, at least in terms of how family superhero movies go.
I've made a horrible mistake. I meant to destroy you, but I didn't think it would really work.
Megamind goes to the Metro Man Museum to figure out why he feels nothing and coincidentally bumps into Roxanne. Oh, and look, Ben Stiller's voice for some reason.
Bernard, I'll just be another minute.
Okay.
Oh, and his kids voice some students too? Would he have a hand in making it or something? Oh, he did! With Guillermo del Toro? J.K. Simmons. Okay, I'm gonna stop randomly naming people because they just show up here. He disguises himself as Bernard to talk to Roxanne and figures out what's missing is another hero for him to fight. So he uses some of Metro Man's DNA to clone his superpowers.
From this, we'll extract the source of Metro Man's awesome power.
Okay, I have no idea if this is intentional, but that looks like a cameraman reflection. If that is, then that's automatically the funniest joke in the movie.
Bernard, it's Roxanne. I just found his secret hideout.
Roxanne discovers his hideout, so Megamind continues the facade of being Bernard. Some of this can be pretty entertaining.
His strength's too much. Oh, I work out. Well, it's really paying off.
You know, for a reporter, she doesn't question enough things. The gun with the superpowers accidentally hits her cameraman Hal, played by Jonah Hill.
I was just about to make my frontal assault to rescue you, but like 50 ninjas tried to attack me.
That's just how Jonah Hill defended the movie Don't Look Up as well. As his powers grow, Megamind pretends to be his father from another planet, and I never thought you'd have to teach a comedian how to do a Marlon Brando impression, but I think Farrell needs that course.
This is a dream come true. You've been blessed with unfathomable power. I'm like your space dad.
He sounds like the brain has that pierced tongue guy from Rat Race in his teeth. It doesn't work, and not really in a funny way. He tries to train him as a hero and even calls him Titan, but he's so self-absorbed and rotten he can't get through to his good side.
To Titan! Tomorrow, you will fight Megamind, and the city will know your name.
To the only city that looks more like a middle finger than Chicago does. To make Roxanne happy, Megamind cleans up a lot of the damage he did to the city, though she's completely unaware that she's been speaking to him the whole time. And this disturbs Minion.
The bad guy doesn't get the girl.
Maybe I don't want to be the bad guy anymore.
Yeah, how about that? A Dreamworks plot that sounds similar to another film this year that's not Disney.
Who are you?
This causes them to have a falling out, leading to both a pathetically sad but also really funny goodbye.
Good luck on your date.
I will.
That doesn't even make any sense.
I know.
How most supervillains say I love you to one another. Roxanne figures out what Megamind is up to in the most nonsensical way. See, in this world, that Rise of Skywalker dagger thing could totally work. Nah, still can. And Hal reveals himself as Titan.
Whoops! Savior! You are lucky to have such a great hero here.
The contrast to how beautifully elegant the Superman Lois flight is compared to the chaotic clumsiness of Titan and Roxanne just makes the scene all the more hilarious.
I have powers.
You don't understand.
Why?
Hal,
This
just take a
isn't
deep
right.
breath and listen
You're
to me for a
supposed to
moment.
be with me.
I'll admit at first I found Hal to be a pretty boring villain. But when you sadly do meet a few horny, brainless creeps in your life, you do realize the idea of them having superpowers is kind of terrifying.
It's Titan. It's Titan, not Hal.
Man, this is the biggest a-hole Jonah Hill's ever played since Jonah Hill.
Roxanne.
Sorry, I'm late.
And this causes her to be late to her date. Yeah, how did she get down from that building? And Megamind is accidentally outed.
What about everything you just said?
Why are you so evil?
Again, I originally found this third act breakup and liar reveal plot pretty lame the first time. But I will admit the expression on his face really says a lot without having to say a lot.
Do you really think that I would ever be with you?
The way he said that and the way it was animated clearly shows this is all he's ever known. It's not even that he wanted to be this way, it's just that's all he's ever been taught. And he learned it so well that when he tried something else, he was both too good and too bad at it. And you can't really blame Roxanne either, that's all she's ever known him as too. A deceiver. I wish it was just a little less rom-com-y, but it does still work.
Bring out the Black Mamba.
In light of these events, he plans his classic good versus evil fight with Titan, but Titan never shows. In fact, he's actually doing more evil than good. However, Megamind gets his fight when he reveals he's the one dating Roxanne. This battle is also pretty hilarious.
Come out, you little freak!
I am way too big a sucker for giant, massive, loud machines somehow sneaking around. When Megamind finds out Titan is so evil he wants to kill him as opposed to take him to jail, he tries Copper to defeat him, but for some reason it doesn't work. So he goes to Roxanne for help.
What do you want?
An intro course to meme generator. I might have something with that previous image. She agrees to help him, knowing Titan will destroy the city if she doesn't. So they go to Metro Man's old home where, like I said, every commercial ruined the twist of Metro Man is still alive.
But we saw your skeleton. You were dead.
Are you a ghost?
In easily the funniest scene in the film, Metro Man talks about how he decided he was tired of the same old game and he ran away from his responsibilities. All in a literal millisecond.
I decided to go clear my head. I tried to get my mind off how I was feeling, but I just felt stuck.
I love this because it's almost like saying if Superman is so fast he could fly around the Earth in time travel, why couldn't he be so fast he could do something like this? There's like a million conflicts that could have been resolved with this. And it doesn't even take like a few minutes in his time, it takes like a week.
But what about what I wanted to do? No one said this hero thing had to be a lifetime gig. I can be whatever I want to be.
I mean, if this is how he promoted reading, clearly he wasn't a fast reader, so that gives you an idea. He decides to do what most people who abandon their true talents do, go into music.
I have eyes that can see right through lead.
You can't sing that bad unless the guy who directed these is involved. He says he's put in his time and he's done, so Megamind decides he's done as well and returns to prison.
Thousands have already fled the city in a mass exodus. Remaining citizens are warned to stay indoors until further notice.
So this is where I get a little split on the movie. Roxanne goes to reason with Titan, but he kidnaps her and uses her as bait to lure out Megamind. He of course goes to rescue her and the villain fights the hero, but get this, the roles are reversed. And yeah, nothing much funny is done with it. It's just a pretty generic action scene with pretty generic dialogue.
This is the last time you make a fool out of me!
I made you a hero. You did the fool thing all by yourself.
And I gotta say it's weird that only 2 major roles are switched up when there's 4 major characters you could use. Obviously Titan has to be the villain, but maybe you could have Roxanne as the hero and Megamind as the captive and Metro Man as the person who can't solve the problem. Or maybe Megamind as the hero, Metro Man as the captive, and Roxanne as the person who can't solve the problem. Whatever combo you go with, everyone can discover something different about themselves from a different point of view. I guess you could argue Metro Man's kind of the useless bystander, kind of like what Hal was before, but then Roxanne's still in the same role. It just feels like there's more opportunities that could have been taken advantage of here. Because this is so boring to me. Yet they're acting like something like this has never been done in a comedy.
He's the real hero. Thing about bad guys, they always lose.
You won.
Well, I finally had a reason to win.
We're the good guys now.
I guess we are.
Like, remember when Enchanted brought up the daring idea that a woman can save the day, even though it's been done in a lot of movies by that point, even in Disney films? It kind of has that vibe. Granted, I still like that movie fine, and I still like this one too. So I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. The focus is still on Megamind and the point's still gotten across. He doesn't have to be what he thinks fate is determined for him. I guess you could argue it is kind of interesting that not every major character has a major part. You could argue it's teaching you that some people who leave really will just leave and never come back. Some folks can overcome, but others are just gonna let you down. There is some valuable stuff here for a family film. I just wish if it wasn't doing anything that new, it'd at least do something really funny. And this...
You're living a fantasy. There is no Easter Bunny, there is no Tooth Fairy, and there is no Queen of England.
Okay, it's sometimes funny. And true. And this, of course, brings us to where we started off, as he totally dies, y'all. No, he figures a way out and takes away the powers from Titan. He, of course, is the new hero in town and even ends up getting together with Roxanne.
Get back, you savages!
Sorry.
And, you know, 2010's anime movie, so of course, there's a dance party at the end.
I'm bad.
He probably killed millions going psycho on that city, but it's all in good fun. We have fun here. And that was Megamind. It's about as good as I remember it. Yeah, there was no major development watching it again that completely changed my mind, but it's still perfectly fine. Maybe part of why so many enjoy it is that a lot of younger people grew up with this film and were introduced to some of these ideas here. Bad turning good, fate is what you make it, people surprising you in both good and bad ways. Also, if you're an adult that really gravitated towards this film, maybe you're drawn to the fact that it's a character that's had a very checkered past, hasn't been taught that great, but still accomplishes a lot of good. I guess those are ideas that a lot of adults can connect to. It's also an anime family movie that doesn't talk down too much to its viewers. There's a lot of moments of characters just having conversations and not always needing to throw in a sight gag or one-liner, which might be unique for younger people watching anime comedies. I guess if I was a kid, I would respect the fact that they're trying to have more adult conversations and talk about adult ideas, and seeing it in a major anime movie, maybe that would have connected with me. If I grew up with it, maybe I'd see more of the impact it had, but as is, I still see it as a good flick. Decent message, smart jokes, inventive animation. It's not a personal favorite, but its hard work and effort makes it just super enough. I'm a nostalgia critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Girls, you're both pretty. Can I go home now?